WADR, promoting dialogue.
Good afternoon and many thanks for staying tuned to West Africa Democracy Radio, broadcasting on 94.9 FM and around the world on WADR.org. Welcome to NEWSLINK. Here are the top stories. Lawyers of deposed President Bazoum challenge Nigerian junta to prove his well-being amid detention concerns.
You talked about providing proof of his being alive. The military also understand that the sustenance of Bazoum is very, very germane to whatever deals they're able to broker.
Liberian observers expect minimal impact on presidential outcome as the Election Commission announces Nimba County rerun final results.
It's important to indicate that the election under review may not have any significant impact on the overall outcomes of the result, especially at the presidential level.
Senegal's opposition candidates raise concerns over alleged harassment during presidential election sponsorship process, and Ghana's government approves additional economic measures to enhance stability and fiscal responsibility. Stay with us for details of these stories and more.
Here is Tawfiq Abdul Nasser with NEWSLINK.
Many thanks for joining us and a warm welcome to our listeners in Liberia, Ghana, and the Gambia. Our afternoon bulletin begins in Niger, where the legal representatives of deposed President Mohamed Bazoum have dismissed allegations of an escape attempt, asserting that he is presently being held in an undisclosed location by the ruling junta. Contrary to the junta's claim on Thursday, alleging that Bazoum and his family, aided by collaborators within the security forces, had planned to transport a vehicle to the outskirts of the capital, Niamey, and then take a helicopter to neighboring Nigeria. The lawyer said Bazoum and his family have been denied access to legal counsel or any external communication. We turn our attention to Liberia, where the Electoral Umpire, the National Elections Commission, NEC, on Saturday concluded a rerun election for 2 polling units in Nimba County. Recall that the Commission had announced Friday as the rerun date after 2 ballot boxes were stolen during the collation of votes of the October 10 presidential and legislative elections. According to the Commission, those responsible have already been apprehended by the security operatives. As Liberians anticipate the announcement of the final official results on Tuesday by the electoral body, election observers say this result has no significant effect on the presidential results.
From all indications, based on reports from the Elections Commission and local observers, the process went on well, and the results have since been communicated to the public. And those who are winners of the process have been announced basically by winners. I'm talking about those who got more votes from those polling centers or the places where people voted, basically.
Right. So have the winner been announced yet? Because the Electoral Commission in a statement earlier said they are going to announce the winner on Tuesday. Has it been announced already?
No, when I said winners, I was talking about preliminary reports because party observers, independent observers, and journalists do observe unofficially. Reports do come up, but of course it is the National Elections Commission that has the authority to announce official results. So we all await the Elections Commission to announce official final results.
So talk about the Electoral Commission having the final say as far as the election results is concerned. Would this result affect that of the presidential?
it's important to indicate that the election under review may not have any significant impact on the overall outcomes of the result, especially at the presidency level, because these were the only two voting precincts remaining out of the total numbers during these elections. And from all indications, whether CDC wins the entirety of the votes in that place or the Unity Party wins the entirety of the votes, it wouldn't significantly change anything in terms of the results. So basically, from all indications unofficially, the CDC and the Unity Party will be going to the runoff of these elections.
Anderson Miamen is a Liberian election observer. Still on electoral matters, in Senegal, opposition candidates have raised concerns about alleged harassment during the sponsorship process for the February 2024 presidential election. As Ogiobi Erika reports, the sponsorship phase holds significant importance in validating a candidate's eligibility.
Over the weekend, the police intercepted the campaign motorcade of Khalifa Sall, the former mayor of Dakar, in the Fatigue department, citing lack of authorization for their convoy of approximately 30 vehicles. Representatives from Tahawu, Senegal, Sall's party contested the claim, asserting that their caravan neither violated any regulations nor obstructed public roads. Tahawu, Senegal condemned the police intervention as arbitrary. After a brief delay, the political convoy was eventually permitted to resume its journey. Similarly, videos circulating on social media show Malik Gakou, a prominent candidate, alleging that he was also halted by the police in the Kebemie locality. Following this reported incident involving opposition candidates, their campaign teams and civil society organizations have taken to the streets to protest what they perceive as harassment. In a memorandum issued 2 weeks ago, Forum Civil Senegalese, a civil society organization, urged the state to ensure the protection of freedoms in the pre-electoral context.
Ogiobi Erika reporting there.
More stories coming up on West Africa Democracy Radio. NewsLink continues.
In Togo, the Forum on Peace and Security in West Africa concluded yesterday, Sunday, with a specific focus on bolstering democracy in the face of an increasing number of political transitions in the region. West Africa has grappled with a series of military coups since 2020, prompting heightened concerns about the region's political stability. The Peace and Security Forum in Lomé culminated with a panel discussion dedicated to examining political transitions in the sub-region. Initiated by Togo, the event brought together the United Nations, the African Union, and foreign affairs ministers from various West African countries. Moving on to Ghana, where the government has approved further economic measures to sustain the country's progress toward economic recovery. The decision aimed to further consolidate the stability of growth and tighten spending. President Akufo-Addo and his cabinet on October 20 began a 3-day retreat to deliberate on the country's economy and the humanitarian crisis that has hit many parts of the Lower Volta region following the spillage of the Kosombo and the Pond dams. James Ejapon reports.
The recent retreat coincided with the approval by the International Monetary Fund (IMF) of a $600 million balance of payment support tranche for Ghana following the attainment of a staff agreement. In a press briefing held at the conclusion of the 3-day cabinet retreat at Pejuase Lodge in the Eastern Region, Information Minister Kojo Opon-Nkrumah conveyed the cabinet's satisfaction with the outcomes of the PC-PEG implementation. He underscored the notable stability of the economy and its ongoing recovery, with a specific focus on reducing the current inflation rate of 38.1%. Opon-Nkrumah further emphasized the significant strides achieved in terms of fiscal consolidation, stabilizing the cedi, job creation, inflation management, and bolstering international reserves. Nkrumah highlighted the uptick in economic growth and employment opportunities, especially for the nation's youth, although many are still complaining of financial difficulties. The cabinet took note of the advancements made in the post-crisis economic recovery plan and the ongoing collaborative effort with the IMF. The cabinet has greenlit additional economic measures aimed at further fortifying the emergent stability and fostering extensive growth and job opportunities within the country.
James Ejapon filed that report. Now, Guinea's Court of Repression of Economic and Financial Offences has imposed travel restrictions on directors of administrative and financial affairs within the ministerial departments suspecting their involvement in financial embezzlement. However, legal experts challenged the move, contending that the prosecutor lacks the authority to curtail the freedom of the accused, a prerogative reserved for investigating magistrates. Sang Donald Mendy provides details in this report by Conakry correspondent Cherno Alpha Ibrahima Balde.
A total of 34 individuals have been included in the list submitted to the Air and Border Policy by the Public Prosecutor's Office of the Court for the Repression of Economic and Financial Offences. As a result of this submission, these individuals are currently prohibited from leaving the country until the legal proceedings against them have been concluded. Legal experts have expressed confusion over this move by the CRIEF prosecutor. Legal proceedings initiated by Prosecutor Ali Toure currently focus solely on the directors of administrative and financial affairs DAFs within ministerial departments. However, a jurist has highlighted the complicity of prosecuting only the executor while allowing the financial authorizer within a ministry to remain unaccountable. These directors of administrative and financial affairs of ministerial departments were reportedly summoned twice to the presidency by Colonel Mamadi Doumbia at the end of the week. According to sources, their travel documents were seized during these meetings.
Sang Donald Mendy voiced that report by Conakry correspondent Cherno Alpha Ibrahim Abadi. You are listening to NewsLink on West Africa Democracy Radio 94.9 FM Dakar. Here is a reminder of our top stories. Lawyers of deposed President Bazoum challenge Nigerian junta to prove his well-being amid detention concerns. Liberian observers expect minimal impact on presidential outcome as the Election Commission announces Nimba County rerun final results. Senegal's opposition candidates raise concerns over alleged harassment during presidential election sponsorship process, and Ghana's government approves additional economic measures to enhance stability and fiscal responsibility. Still ahead is the press review, the guest interview, and sports update. Stay with us.
West Africa Democracy Radio. It's you speaking.
A United Kingdom-based collective known as Concerned Gambians staged a protest over the weekend, highlighting various issues affecting Gambians in their home country. Their demands encompass a call for the reinstatement of the Constitution, the facilitation of diaspora voting, the implementation of the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission (TRRC) findings, and the enhancement of the health and education sectors within the country. Reporting from Banjul, Sankule Janko provides further details.
The protest unfolded at multiple locations in the UK, including the Gambia's High Commissioner, London, and the Nigerian High Commissioner at 9 Northumberland Avenue, London. Demonstrators also gathered at the Foreign and Commonwealth Office situated at King Charles Street, London, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. During the protest, participants submitted letters to these institutions outlining their concerns. They brandished banners and placards bearing various messages, such as bringing back the Constitution, we need diaspora voting, implement the TRRC findings, and upgrade our health and education sector. The Assembly of UK-based Gambians passionately advocate for the revival of the proposed new constitution. The protest denounced the privatization of vital national assets like the Senegambia Bridge, the prevailing state of the rule of law in the country, and the pervasive issue of corruption. Among the central issues driving the protest were concerns about alleged police intimidation, apprehensions regarding a potential third term for President Barrow, the call for diaspora voting rights, and grievances about the purported lavish expenditure of public funds. For NEWSLINK on West Africa Democracy Radio, I'm Sankule Janko reporting from Banjul.
Away from the Gambia, Chinese nationals residing in Nigeria have expressed their commitment to aligning their efforts with the Belt and Road Initiative to enhance their investments in infrastructure projects across various regions in the country. During a recent forum held in Lagos, southwestern Nigeria, Chinese nationals emphasized that Nigeria has emerged as a promising business destination, prompting their decision to increase infrastructure investments aimed at boosting the nation's revenue. WADR's Usman Umar in Abuja has a report.
The forum served as a valuable platform for representatives from both countries to engage in dialogue, share ideas, and explore areas of mutual interest. Mr. Atuno Obanwo, Deputy Director at the Confucius Institute at the University of Lagos, expressed insights regarding Africa's preparedness for the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI.
African governments have not really positioned themselves very well to attain the benefits of the BRI. While some countries like Nigeria have attained some of the benefits, some African countries are still struggling. But now is the time to say that they must come together. Africa as a whole must come together so that they can truly attain the benefits of the BRI.
Yan Yu King, the Consul General of China to Nigeria, played a pivotal role in facilitating discussions.
Nigeria is the most important strategic partner of China in Africa, and we had made a lot of cooperation, good results in the future in the field of infrastructure, investment and trade, and cooperation, education, culture, and so on. So I'm confident that after the next week's forum, Nigeria and China will have more cooperation chance opportunity for the future.
China has played a crucial role in Nigeria's infrastructure development, with over 20 Chinese companies participating in key projects comprising railways, roads, electricity, information and communication technology, and oil refineries. For NEWSLINK on West Africa Democracy Radio, Usman Umar reporting from Abuja.
This is the newspaper review. Stay on top of the news. Get the most important stories with added insight and concise review.
This is the newspaper review.
Usman Umar in Abuja joins us again with the major headlines from the Nigerian dailies.
Hello and welcome to the press review segment today with me, Usman Umar, from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We have a couple of dailies to take a look at. Let's start with the Daily Trust. The Daily Trust is leading with this story. Domestic, foreign airlines disagree on multiple designations. With riders, our businesses at risk. Indigenous carriers cry out. Go and build your capacity, foreign airlines are telling the domestic airlines. And the last rider for the story, what bilateral air service agreement says. Of course, let's quickly go over to the Punch newspaper. The Punch newspaper is leading with this story. Federal government plans 26 trillion naira borrowing, 29 trillion naira for debt servicing, with riders, debt servicing to exceed capital budget spending by 7.69 trillion naira amid slow economy, with the last rider saying, high debt servicing cost creating potential fiscal risks, government is lamenting. And below the front cover picture, which has a truck that was involved in an accident with a Hiace bus, a 14-seater bus. 5 died, 15 injured in Lagos-Ibadan highway crash. And the next paper is Daily Independent. Daily Independent is leading with this story. Competition slows among banks as tech flattens service. With one rider, fintech's big gainers. Before we draw the curtains, let's quickly take a look at The Guardian. The Guardian is leading with this story. At 1,200 naira to $1, 985 naira per litre fuel spike squeezes air travel pricing. And with an infographic in the front page, airlines trapped funds amounting to $793 million US. Aviation fuel, that is Jet A1 fuel, now cost 985 naira per litre. And of course, exchange rate as of today is at 1,200 naira to $1 United States dollars. And this is the much we have for you on today's edition of the Press Review segment. With me, Usman Umar, as hand you back over to the studios.
Politics, analysis on major news, social matters, and all. This is A Guest.
Our guest focus this afternoon takes us back to Niger, where the legal representatives of the post-President Mohamed Bazoum dismissed allegations of an escape attempt, asserting that he is presently being held in an undisclosed location by the ruling junta. Contrary to the junta's claims on Thursday, alleging that Bazoum and his family, aided by collaborators within the security forces, had planned to transport a vehicle to the outskirts of the capital, Niamey, and then take a helicopter to neighboring Nigeria. The lawyers said Bazoum and his family have been denied access to legal counsel or any external communication, hence challenging the junta to prove their well-being. As these events unfold, Adeni Kunu, an international relations expert, joins us.
You talked about providing proof of his being alive. The military also understand that the sustenance of Bazoum is very, very germane to whatever deals they're able to broker with allies, with negotiators, with collaborators, with those who disagree with them. So I do not think that the Abdurrahman-led military junta, as it were, will be foolish enough to take the life of Mr. Bazoum, except, of course, if they have a plan B or plan C, where his life wouldn't matter. So asking for proof, for instance, is what the lawyers may not see, because they wouldn't even consider the lawyer has some kind of authority to speak with them on the life of their principal. As far as they are concerned, the ECOWAS regional body or the African Union could actually have a rapport with them on that.
So the junta claimed there was an attempt to take Bazoum out of detention, and his legal representatives have debunked the claim. So what do you think is at play?
In the first place, let's make it clear that propaganda is part of every government of the world, and you cannot just wish two sides of a coin off in terms of stories associated with the erstwhile number one man of the Nigeria Republic. Well, I think that it is clearly magnanimous of military leadership to oust a man from power and not kill that man. So if the military leaders of the Nigeria Republic claim that he tried to escape, I think that we may not be able to believe them less. But again, don't forget they said they foiled the plan. It was supposed to have left where they kept him in a helicopter. The question will be, who provides the helicopter for the escape or intended escape of Bazoum? Where will the helicopter land? That the security operatives meant to be watching Bazoum 24/7 and not having or do not have the needful intelligence. So I think that both sides have certain things we can rely upon, but I've laid the aspect of how it is not so easy to get a helicopter to come and pick up somebody that had been deposed from power. But I need to say that apart from what both sides have told us, it is investigation and suspicion about the intention to actually come to the Nigeria Republic and find a way to rescue Bazoum.
Right. So as these events unfold, what should we be expecting?
Well, I think that it's key to remind us that the period of time that the ECOWAS regional body gave for the negotiation over the release of Bazoum had expired. And many countries have, of course, warned that ECOWAS should not use its military or else there could be a spillover, and it is what Africa doesn't need at all. So the outcome will still be negotiation. The outcome will still be to speak to the issues, but importantly, it is to ascertain or to keep alive Mr. Bazoum. But I doubt if Mr. Bazoum will be allowed to come back to office because the people themselves of Niger Republic have shown allegiance to the army. You could call it momentary spur of excitement because power has left the hands of a democratic leader. You could call it introspection of joy regarding that power that has left the hands of the civilians. But what is important is the people ultimately are the deciders of who they want to lead them. And even if you call it democracy something that brought Bazoum to power, if the people say they don't want him, they perhaps will choose the lesser or the bigger devil in the military than allow Bazoum, because according to them, Bazoum has kept them more hungry. So for a Bazoum, what is expected is that he stays alive, but he should keep his hopes and aspirations very, very minimal because he may not return to power. And I think that that is going to be another thing that shapes this discussion going forward, sir.
Adeni Ikuno is an international relations expert. Up next is the sports update with Sankule Janko.
Hello there, a warm welcome and thank you for joining us. Nigeria's Enyimba FC began the inaugural African Football League on a wrong foot after a 1-0 home defeat by Withered AC on Sunday at Goldwill's Akpabio International Stadium in Oyo. A well-taken penalty by Captain Yahya Jabran ensured the Moroccan side go home with a slender lead into the second leg. Withered started the match on the front foot and quickly took the lead from the spot kick. Enyimba did eventually find their rhythm and created numerous chances but could not penetrate the Withered's defense. Nigerian giants Enyimba must win at least by 1-0 to stand any chance of qualification when the two sides meet in a week's time at the Stade Mohammed VI in Casablanca. Elsewhere, Tanzania League champions TP Mazembe registered a narrow win against Esperance de Tunisien on Sunday at the Benjamin Mkapa National Stadium in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Also in the African Football League, South Africa's Mamelodi Sundowns are one step into the semis after a crucial 2-0 first-leg victory away against Pedro Atletico of Angola. And Egyptian giants Al Ahly were held to a thrilling 2-2 draw by Tanzania's Simba in the league's opener. And that's it for sports. It's back to you.
We have come to the end of this edition of NewsLink from West Africa Democracy Radio, broadcasting from Dakar, Senegal. Thank you for listening, and many thanks to Christian Mukidi and Mustafa Sek for the technical assistance. Do interact with us via social media platforms X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram at WADR News, on Facebook, West Africa Democracy Radio English Service. I am Tawfiq Abdul Nasir. Good afternoon.
And many thanks to you for listening to NewsLink via Hot 104.3 FM, Newmi FM 94.0, and Veritas Radio 102.9 in Banjul, the Gambia. We also appreciate our listeners in Liberia via Alternative Youth Radio 98.9 FM, Lofa County. For you listening via Radio Pad 95.1 Damango, Savannah region, and on Royals FM 104.7 Wenchi, Ghana, we say a big thank you. Remember, West Africa Democracy Radio is all about you, your views, and your opinions.